Hey friends, Coaster Monkey here, your resident theme park employee, and we're back at Shenaniganilandia in Planet Coaster 2. And we've got a good episode for you today. There is so much that goes on. Last episode, we began to build out of our inner mall, which is essentially once you're through the ticket taker gates, you get to go inside of the park. And this is like a massive weenie in the center. There's a restaurant. There's actually 2 restaurants, 2 gift shops. It's a bunch of stuff to purchase. There is a giant veranda overlooking the water. And then we also have this grand entrance off to the right side. So in this episode, we're going to be building the full sit-down restaurant, and we're also going to be building our massive weenie that's in the center of this area. This is kind of like our I don't know how to get out of the park moment. Oh, there it is. Let me start walking towards that place, right? So as you can see here, we're building out the framework for our restaurant. So this is a fully open air restaurant. It's not closed at all. The whole idea is taking that tiki environment and really giving it its true feeling, right? Its true home. And the idea is saying, okay, we are an open air restaurant. We've got a tiki hut in the center that's coming soon. You're going to see that. And then just a bunch of seating. It's a simple build. It was fairly quick, a couple hours to put together. What I love about this particular build is that you have these varying textiles that really bring interest to the location. You've got the wood, the dark wood, you've got the light wood, we've got some painted wood, and then we've got the thatch. So all of these layers kind of play really well together to really draw your eye from the bottom up to the top of the structure, which I love. We added in this part here, as you can see, this is where we're building out like all the trim work along the top of the roof, as well as the eaves all the way around. Now, this interior, it's very big, it's vast, right? And the idea is dining hall kind of energy. Think Busch Gardens Williamsburg Fest House, right? It's this big open air, well, it's not really open air, it's just a giant space. Realistically, it's a very, very, very big space. And in this space, you can fit hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people at a time to eat, right? So that's kind of the idea that we've built out for this particular restaurant. As you see here, we've got some trim work going up. This is going to be another Surfs location. So if you're not familiar with the lore, we've got this brand called Surfs, right? Surfs kind of handles all of the IPS or in-park services, right? Similar to how I've had in one of my previous theme parks that I worked at, where there was this side company or separate company that had their locations in the park, right? And those locations were owned, operated by this third party. So that's what this is. This is Surf's branded restaurant, right? So this is going to be the main location in the park. This is Surf's restaurant, right? This was probably the original location in the park. And then when the park was like, you know what? We're having trouble managing this particular part of the business. Let's hand it off to Surfs, who's showing great profit and has an ability to really run the business with ease, and give them all of our food locations, right? So their food locations started doing fantastic. And then now they're like, okay, well, you know what? Since they're doing so good and their business model is so great, let's pass off our sales to them. We'll purchase all the product and we'll have them own and operate each of the retail locations as well. So Surfs is the third party company that owns all of the retail and food locations in the park, right? They own and operate, and we basically fill it with the product, right? And that's kind of the idea there, right? And there's royalties involved, and you know, when I think back to like Mama Flora's at Six Flags Great Adventure, Mama Flora's has this whole setup in the park. There's like 3 or 4 locations, one master location, and there's a couple of smaller locations, and they own and operate those, and they run their business out of there, and the park gets a fraction of that or a piece of that. So that's the idea for this location here. As you can see, this is modeled off of a real restaurant, right? Which has a full tiki bar built in on the inside, right? So it's the restaurant on one side, there's a tiki bar in the center. So we figured coming in from one side of the park, or from Parkside, I should say, you walk right into the tiki bar. Coming in from street side, you walk right into the restaurant and the tiki bar, right? So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you want to stop in and you don't want to go to any of the theme parks. You want to go right to the restaurant as a season pass holder. You can do that, right? You can just walk right in and go there. And that's the idea. This is kind of like a city walk kind of plaza. I also think of this location being very similar to, again, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, where when you walk into their main gate, you've got this massive long stretch of plaza. It's all stores, restaurants. You don't actually get to a ride for like a while, which is crazy to me. But again, super cool. Sorry, I had to lower the volume there. But yeah, as you can see, we've got our fans going up. We have these fans on the workshop as well. If you're interested in downloading these, I actually created an entire Tiki resort set, which is a cabana. It's these really cool chairs with turtles on them. I created like custom benches, which is super fun. And we've also got this Tiki bar is also on there. We've got the Tiki fans that are on there. So it's a whole Tiki collection that we built out that you could find on the Frontier Workshop. So as this custom bench is getting built, let's talk a little bit about the channel and what's going on. So I'm going to be changing the format fully, I think, to this format of build out for videos. I think it's just, again, this is where I'm most comfortable. I think having an entire video run with the time lapse in the back end after I do a full walkthrough of what we've built, that's not for me. It's not a format that works for me. I'm trying to find what fits for our following, because in all honesty, our videos aren't doing the best. I had a video hit over 1,000 last week, which was great. If you haven't seen that one, it's all about building our Surf's Hurricane Harry's restaurant and store location. Great video that did wonderful. Again, for lack of a better phrase, just it performed better than any of the other videos right now for Planet Coaster 2. I'm excited to see what else we can make happen, right? So with that being said, don't be afraid to subscribe, like, comment. I hate saying this. I'm going to say that exact phrase every single video. I hate saying this, but it really does help the channel. And guys, we're just having fun here. Right. And that's really what I want to do. I love sharing my work because I'm having a blast. And I want to share it with everybody. Right. And we'll see if you guys bite. You know what I mean? If you like it, if you don't. Here we are. We're building our Dip Your Dots location. Yes, I said dip your dots. So the idea is that instead of Dippin' Dots, this is Dip Your Dots. It's a complete ripoff of the brand. But this is like, you know, we're a theme park and we can't really afford that other brand, so we're going to make our own brand kind of energy, which happens often. And you look at the Chinese food restaurant, the Panda Express, right? They existed at Six Flags Parks and then they didn't. And then Chop 6 appeared, which is essentially the same exact product, right? But with the in-park brand, not the outsourced brand. So again, it comes in two ways, right? So this is called Dip Your Dots. And again, total rip off the brand. We took the Gelato Brothers colors and we made our van from that. So here comes the big piece de resistance, right? So before I built out the weenie in the center of this area, my thought process was, let me clean up and build out all of the foliage and kind of what I want it to look like with trees, benches, any type of accent areas to really develop the space. So I know what I'm working with and what my sight lines are going to look like. Sight lines in this area are very important, and you end up with a really great shot from the middle island. And you're going to see that shortly, or you'll see that as the video progresses, excuse me, or the series progresses. But there's a middle island in our theme park that will overlook this entire inner mall, the inner plaza, right? So it's a really fun idea. And here we've got, that was the deck there. That deck is eventually, crossing fingers, we get like actual boats or like a water transportation ride. That's what would live there, and we'll kind of rework that. So this center weenie, it's had a couple of iterations. This is the third decision because the first two just didn't work out. And I really like the way this came out. This is modeled off of the Burrow from Harry Potter, loosely modeled, but the idea is to make it Tiki, right? So you can find this on the workshop. It's called Tiki Burrow. And it is a fully bamboo Tiki kind of house, right? So think Swiss Family Robinson, but make it Harry Potter. Right? And that's kind of what we went with here. It was a lot. It was a good like 4 hours to build this one structure, but I think it's totally worth it, and it really plays the part. As you can see here too, while we're building this, the new pathing tool. I have a love-hate relationship with this pathing tool because it's great. It's great. It's fantastic. I'm able to create stuff like this, right? Where we've got this winding path that goes all the way around. But like, is anyone else having trouble with it? Like snapping to things and like moving around, or like when you reload a park, like a chunk of it is missing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just human error, which is possible. But what I was able to do, which I'm super excited for, is this whole swirly pattern, right? So the idea of our park, ready? From the top down, it's gonna look like a treasure map, okay? And that treasure map is gonna have these swirling patterns. One pattern of the brick road, see where we're going here? One pattern of the brick road is gonna go off to the left. Okay, and that's going to take you into the water park. And one pattern of the brick road is going to swirl around and go off to the right into the theme park, right? So as you traverse your journey through the theme park, you're going to follow these brick roads. Both of these brick roads are going to lead to our center island. You see where the Ferris wheel is back there? That's our center island. So both of these are going to lead back to that center island, okay? And that center island is going to have a huge X that marks the spot. And guess what's going to be at that X? Our biggest and best roller coaster. That's what we're going to put there. So I'm super excited for that. It's going to be super fun to kind of create that storyline and create that map. I would love to, once we are able to upload our own images and create custom screens, to upload the top-down view and create like maps for the park, right? And like fully build it out. So you think that would be fun? Actually, in my day job, this is something that I used to do for the theme park, is I used to make the map for the park, right? Or I used to be a part of the map creation for the park and build that out in full, which is really interesting. So I'd love to be able to do that here and kind of create like a mini, like a key and like locations and descriptors. Like I feel like that would be really fun. And then I'd share the map with you guys. And then you can utilize that as your map to get around the park when you're, in the park, when we do share the park eventually, which I think will be super fun. So here we are, we're getting into our second level, as you can definitely tell. And the idea is that we want it to be off axis and wonky, right? So off axis and wonky is super important, for this type of a build, because it's the Burrow. The Burrow is 100%, it's leaning, it's cockeyed, it's all wonky, right? And that's what we're going after. And you'll see we actually thin this out a little bit more to make it feel a little less stable, a little bit more flimsy. We give it a full twist cock, 11.5 degrees, which I think is super fun and just really elevates kind of that story that we're trying to tell with this particular structure. Now this park, it's not an overly styled, let me rephrase. It's not an overly themed theme park. Yes, we're calling it a theme park because there is a theme here, right? There's going to be this tiki theme as the main theme. There'll be a Viking section. We'll do a mythology section, just like the game. I'm thinking of maybe even bringing Western into it, right? Like a small Western section, nothing too crazy. Maybe that becomes like the kiddie area, So, but the idea is that we've got this, this area that's completely built out here in the front, and this is it. This is the most theming you're going to see in the entire park, right? This is that wow moment when you first walk in. And I think to the two parks that I worked in, that's exactly what it is. They're both amusement parks. One's more of a theme park, the other one's an amusement park. But that central moment when you first walk in, that kind of sets the stage for your experience. And once you walk past that central moment, it kind of thins out. And that's the idea here. So if you even compare this to our first area, which was the water park area, that area is less themed and more stylized. And that's kind of what we're going to be looking at moving forward as we build out into the two parks further. So leading up to this point, we've built the first section of our water park. Now that we've got this central area built out, we're going to now move on to our theme park. And coming very soon, we're going to work on our very first roller coaster in Planet Coaster 2. Well, our very first roller coaster in this particular park. I played with a couple of coasters. I'm very excited about the smoothing tool and about the builder. I've got some cool stuff that I built already. Nothing yet for this park. And that's what's going to happen. As soon as we're done filming this video, actually, I'm going to jump right into the park and we're going to start laying out infrastructure around this next roller coaster. The thought for this roller coaster, we're going to go big. It's going to be big. okay? But it's not going to be tremendous, okay? And what we're going after for this is going to be a very big statement coaster that's going to run along a parking lot. Okay. And it's going to be like that excitement driver. It's the first thing you see when you're driving up in your car and it's like, ooh, wow, I need to ride that first. I'm going to run there. Right. But no spoilers yet. That's going to be coming out soon. So you'll see that video shortly. Speaking of videos and when they're coming out. So if you've not been on the channel, if this is your first time seeing one of our videos, one of my videos, I stream almost every night on YouTube. I may be switching over to Twitch. I may do a mixture between the two. I've never streamed on Twitch before, so that'll be a fun new thing to do, which I think will be awesome for us to introduce to the Coaster Monkey channel. And then I'll upload those lives to YouTube for sure. I think from there, I gotta stop doing the royal we. Man, I don't know what, just because so many years of talking to guests about my parks, everything is we, nothing is me, nothing is I, right? So it's a little different. So the royal we, we're gonna make it go away for this video. So I am looking to, I lost my train of thought there because of the royal we. Great, fantastic. Anyway, back to the video. So here we are, we're building out some balconies with some bamboo. I liked the idea of what I did here where I put all these cockeyed windows all over it. Some were protruding, some were flat against the structure. And the whole idea is just really getting a very solid kind of framework that, this is trompe l'oeil, right? It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller to the top. We create this image of shrinking so it looks bigger, forced perspective, right? So a little bit of both of those ideas to really develop or to sell the idea that, this structure is taller than it is and gets smaller as it goes up, right? So we've got a number of staircases that go down the sides, which is fun. We've got a couple of balconies with an umbrella and a beach ball, which is just different and weird. I think the beach ball up there is just random, right? Just a random beach ball, just chilling. So it's a mixture of woods. There's a mixture of textures. We did a lot of bamboos, a lot of this like Viking jetty wood, which I think was super fun. And then when the detailing comes into play, it's a lot of rope work. It's a lot of the Viking boxes. It's kind of what we've been doing over the past couple builds to elevate the overlook up there. We are making it like cockeyed. You saw that? We twisted the whole thing, which was fun. From here, we're looking at now where all of the ropes come into play, and we've got these layers. And we built this all on stream, and that's what I was saying before. If you want to join us on stream, you can join us every day. And if you don't want to join on stream, you just want to watch the videos, I will try to post twice a week. Most definitely once a week on a Sunday, sometimes twice a week. Like this week, we'll have a video out on today, Wednesday, when you're seeing this video. And then I'm going to have another video come out on Sunday. But who knows if I'll be able to get the next video because it is Thanksgiving weekend, right? So we'll see what we're able to get out for you guys, or what I'm able to get out for you guys. That royal we, man, let me tell you. But yeah, so... Oh my God, look at that boat. I was very excited about the Persian boat, by the way. That was kind of awesome. But... yeah, so here we are just building out more clutter, and then I found all of these wrapped tarps in the Viking set, and I thought they'd be great to have at the top of like these balconies to like pull down and give us more of a like shade if we want, right? Or like privacy, right? Again, this is all fake. It's not real. It would be like a fake building, like, I don't know, Islands of Adventure-ish, right? But this is the only building that's going to be like this in the front of the park, right? This is the only one that's going to have this much theming. Which is a lot. It was a lot. I'm not going to lie. I think this is in total between this episode and the previous episode. It was like 25 hours worth of recording to create this whole outer mall or inner mall. Oh, and this is what I love about the path tool. Check this out. So you could delete the paths in between, right? And create negative space. How great is that, right? And then you turn off the layering effect or the merging effect, and you can actually stamp underneath another path, which is just What? So great job, Frontier. Love that. As we are wrapping up kind of what this foliage looks like here and what the greenery around the space is, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for making it to the end of the video. If you didn't already, subscribe, like, follow, all that jazz, whatever. Otherwise, we're just having fun. I hope you guys are having fun with me because I'm having a blast. And I just love sharing this joy with the world. So until the next one, have a great day. Check out these glamour shots and I will catch you next time.